Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, MP here, and today I wanted to cover using augmented reality in A-frame. Sounds horrendously complicated, right? Well, not so much. It's pretty sweet. Um, there's this really good blog on aframe.io about using AR.js inside of A-frame, and it's really quite simple here. There's not a lot of code to it. So what I did is I went ahead and put the A-frame AR.js inside of the generator-A-frame NPM module, the Yeoman generator to generate new A-frame projects. So if you're using that, you can easily switch this on. So I went ahead and created an A-frame project here using that generator. And I'm going to try to put this little logo, this little Elms logo, inside of a VR environment. Sorry, an AR environment, augmented reality. So let's get started. Let's see what we have to do here. If you're using the generator, all you have to do is uncomment that script, and now you're using AR. So as you can see, it's turned on my camera using WebRTC, and it's going to try to use the camera to project some entities onto the screen. So how does it do that? Well, as the article explains, what it's looking for are targets. And so here's an example of a target, if I could get this correct here. So that's a popular target. It's called the hero target. And if we switch back over to the blog here, they go into creating, they're called markers, not targets. So you can define your own custom marker. You can use different markers. The hero marker that I just showed is out of the box here. So we're going to use that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to copy this embedded attribute and AR.js attribute. And if I add those to the scene, and I add a camera, and I add an entity that's called, a component that's called a-marker-camera with a preset of hero. So that's the marker that it's going to look for. As soon as we load it up, it's going to place that logo that we brought in. It's a GLTF file. And it just put it right there on the scene. So already we can see that we do have some augmented reality here, which is cool. So if I take this, look at that. Now it's sort of pinned that camera that's internal to A-frame. It's pinned it to that marker, that hero marker that's on my iPad. So as I move my iPad, it's really changing the scene within A-frame and moving that around. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. So let's play around with that and see what we can do. The first thing I'm going to do is switch my camera to the FaceTime camera so that you can see as I work here what's going on. Okay, so I have the hero marker on my phone that I'm going to place right in front of my computer here, and we're gonna work on that. So already you can see this is quite cool. Let me refresh to make sure I have the latest of everything. Okay, so as you can see, it's just laying on that, just completely flat. So let's see what we can do to play around with this. I think the first thing that I'm going to do is change the rotation. And I'm going to stand it up on its side so that it's more upright. So we change the x-axis. And let's see, that's actually pretty good. So now I can sort of, so now it's standing up. Okay. I do have it scaled down quite a bit. So I wrapped an entity around this model and scaled it quite a bit so that we can play around with it. All right, well, that's cool already. So let's do this. Let's change the position just a tad. We're gonna back it up because it's kind of in our face right now. So I'm gonna say 0, 0, -5. See what that brings us. Okay, it's better. That's cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So let's also do something else cool. Let's animate it. So in A-frame, we can animate things extremely easy. Oops, I forgot to close out my tag there. See if that changes. Oh, now it shrunk it down. Okay, so I forgot to close my tag and it scaled it quite a bit, which is fun. Okay, so now, yeah, let's change the position back again. So since now it's not quite as in our face as it used to be. Okay, maybe we'll bump it back just a bit. There we go. All right, that looks perfect. All right, now we're going to open up that entity tag again, and I am going to add an animation. With A-frame, it's really easy to add an animation. Use the animation tag, and you say, what attribute would you like to animate? In this case, we want to animate rotation. And we're going to say it should rotate to, we're not going to change that axis, but we're going to change this Y axis. So it's going to animate from 90 to 360. All right. And we're going to say that that should happen slowly. Let's do 9 seconds. This isn't, use the duration of milliseconds. So this is 9,000 milliseconds. And let's do repeat indefinite. I forget what it actually is. Let me check the documentation. And I'll look for repeat, indefinite. Yep. All right. And let's change the easing to linear. So it looks like it's not bouncing around. Oh, that's looking super duper good. All right, so as you can see, we got our nice little augmented reality here. That was super simple to do. So if we move, as we move the marker around, we're also panning around the our entity inside of A-frame, which is very cool. Makes it look extremely lifelike. So for instance, if I were to stop this rotation, I can sort of look behind the object by turning the marker all the way around. So now the light source is actually over here somewhere and we're looking behind it. So it makes it look super realistic. And it also scales to the size of the marker as well. So as we add a bigger marker, then it will scale up. And if we add a smaller marker, it scales down. Up, small, up, small.